everyone, this is Adriana. Welcome back to Heart Astrology Podcast. I'm joined here with my grandmother, Caitlin, at Bhakti Galactic Healing. That's her YouTube channel, so check her out there. And we join together usually once a month to talk about the coming astrology. We're both galactic astrologers, so we look at everything in our sky, so beyond just our planets, but the fixed stars, and we also talk about star seed things and topics of that nature. So we have some nice information to share today about Venus and Jupiter. So I spoke about Jupiter in previous videos, so we're kind of branching off a little bit more about that with beautiful Venus joining in, as well as an alignment that Caitlin sees with Alpha Centauri. So really nice energy happening there. That's going to be kind of sticking around for a while. And then we have towards the end of August, the Virgo New Moon. So that is kind of an overview of what we're going to discuss today. If this is your first time tuning in, check us out on our YouTube channel. I'm at Starry Sky Readings. And again, Caitlin's at Bhakti Galactic Healing. And thank you if you're watching on the Galactic Astrology channel. We were both trained under Julia Balaz, so we're very grateful to be QSG practitioners and offer galactic readings and all sorts of readings actually that we do. So do you have any openings at this time, Caitlin, by the way? Did you want to share?
No, I'm booked. Still gonna wait till the fall for opening that up. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Too
good.
busy right
No, good.
now.
That's good. I'm glad it's a good busy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, we're gonna do
Good.
some traveling at some point, so that's gonna be fun too. So
Oh, yes, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have some availability actually for the rest of August and going into September. So my books are open. So you can contact either of us at our emails. They'll be posted down below. So do you want to go ahead and give a brief intro for our newbies here, Caitlin?
Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm Caitlin, and just as Adriana said, we're both galactic astrology practitioners of Julia Balaz. Her program and her course is phenomenal. Highly recommend it. And I think Adriana, you have in our description where they can sign up through you for the course if they want to. I initially went into Galactic Astrology 101, and then I upgraded to the full course. At first, I thought, oh, I wasn't quite sure if I could, handle all this. Is it going to be too much? And then once I dived into 101, I was like, wow, this is for me. And
Mhm.
instantly got into the full course. And so if you're just thinking about it, you have that option of just trying 101 and see, get your toes wet, see how you feel about it. But it's life-changing. It's fascinating. And Adriana and I both love it.
Yes, so again, I'm Adriana. My astrology name is Starry Sky Readings here on YouTube and Instagram. Like I said, I do galactic astrology readings, but I also specialize in the more past life readings as well. So I look at Earth past lives and beyond into the galactic realms, even too, if you want to go that far. We're your people for that. So yeah, I've also been an intuitive tarot reader for the past 5 years. So I do like to incorporate divination in my readings, and I'll actually be sharing some tarot messages today. So stay tuned for that. Shall we just jump right in then to our
Yeah,
astrology?
into the deep
Okay.
end. Let's do it.
So, if you are familiar with what we've been sharing in our previous video, or if you watched some other astrologers mention too, we have a beautiful alignment with Jupiter in Cancer at this time. It's been going on right now, and it's a really nice alignment, a very positive one, especially compared to some of the other ones that are happening. So it's kind of balancing things, bringing a lighter air to the energy. By the way, Mercury retrograde's finally over. Yay. So by the time you're watching this, hopefully it's feeling a little bit more eased up now. Yeah, on August 12th. So this is going to probably be past the time that you see this video, but no worries, as energy is going to be here for the next couple of weeks. Venus is conjunct Jupiter in the very beautiful, nurturing sign of Cancer. At the same time as this, as I mentioned before in a previous video, this is making a conjunction to Sirius A. And if you want to know some more information about that, just check out that last video that we did, the one previous to this, we go into more of the Sirius A energy, especially if you have Sirius in your chart. You might want to tune into that and see how that could be impacting you. There's a lot of divine feminine going on actually with this alignment in itself. Caitlin soon is going to share some insights on that too. Of course, this is a very healing energy with the water elemental of Cancer. So feeling called to be near water, especially at this time, especially those of you who have water elements in your chart, if you're water dominant chart. I have a Cancer rising and I drove to the ocean the other day because I just needed to go and get some sea air, even though it wasn't that warm here, but I just still wanted to just be near the water and it was nice. So you might be feeling called to that at this time, even if you don't have, a lot of water in your chart. It's just kind of the sign of this time here. Again, very receptive to that energy of the water, like the waves, moving in and out, ebb and flow here. There is some water trines happening. So, Caitlin, I'm gonna let you go into this and share what you are also seeing with this beautiful energy.
The aspect with the planets Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Cancer are forming a trine with the North Node in Pisces, and a great group of gals in Scorpio. So Black Moon Lilith, Juno, and Vesta. And this configuration is for powerful energies that flow, like water. I've got nice water back here, which is always going to bring in to play emotional healings. Sometimes intuitive insights will come in, and I feel this whole time right now is very much for creative expressions as well. A lot of energies going that direction. But I did want to speak a little bit to Jupiter and Venus in this conjunction, which on August 12th, actually at 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But we're in it right now. Like we're in it from July 26th to August 21st. So they call that a pairing window. Obviously, it is most exact on that one date, the August 12th, but we are affected by it. I think people need to learn that a little bit more. Just like Mercury retrograde, we're still, it's gone direct, but we're in the post shadow now. So there's these kind of finishing off type of things that have to happen, or pre things in the beginning, pre shadows and things of these combinations. So I think it helps to understand that. But the dynamic duo of Jupiter and Venus, look, what do they bring? Well, right off the bat, they emphasize very much what we value. I want you to think about that. Jupiter is emphasis, it's growth, it's expansion. Venus is all about value and love and what she cares about. So we're going to emphasize what we value. There could be I love this, possible financial goodness. My guides told me this. Goodness. I thought, what an interesting description. So you could kind of apply that in whatever way you want. Goodness coming financially, not that there's like you're going to win $1 million or something, but something good in a financial way. I don't know what, maybe somebody pays a bill for you, like, I don't know. That's what it feels like. Like
A little
somebody,
blessing, maybe. A
yes,
little
yes, like,
blessing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Also, I feel when these two benefic planets, they're the happier planets, the lighter, the freer. But when they get together, there's an increase in spiritual awareness because of the emphasis on love, the emphasis on spirituality. So I think those are just little ways that we'll see things happening for these next few weeks. If we could just put it all into one thing, my guides gave me this sentence: to focus on seeking harmony in any and all situations. This is what can prevail during this time. So if you're in situations where you're in a fight with somebody, or you're having this or that relationship issues, things like that, it's an opportunity to seek harmony there. this particular alignment, this pairing window will help support that being healed, okay, towards that healing of it. Does that make sense, Adriana?
Yeah, definitely is that healing energy coming together. And I like what you said about it, about the values, what you value. I think that was a great way to reflect on this alignment.
We still have several weeks. And you're going to talk about the new moon in a little bit. Which is interesting because that will be kind of towards the very end of that coupling. So I think that's awesome. And but here's something that I found. I always try to find things that are a little bit different. That's just because I'm different. That's me. But I was tooling around and looking at my whatchamacallit, my galactic astrology chart. No, calculator.
The
That's it.
calculator.
I can't blame Mercury retrograde right now in that.
We can't
Anyway,
blame it anymore.
what I like to find are things that go on for a longer time. All right, so I started noticing on our last video how there's certain groupings that are staying together for a long time. And that's because many of these connections are in the outer planets, which everything lasts much longer. So, so I just thought it was interesting because what caught my eye was, I don't know if you have Alpha Centauri in your chart as well, Adriana, but I have that in my chart. Also, I mean, and Centauri as well. So Centaurus energy is somewhat, is that in your chart too, the
I don't
Centaurus energy?
believe I do. Not
Oh,
as far
no.
as
Okay.
conjunctions go, I don't believe
Okay.
so.
Okay. But anyway, so I started noticing if you see here, this Saturn in Aries, which we've been talking about, um, and we talked last time a lot about this Pegasus conjunction with Shiat. But I noticed how this Alpha Centauri, which I always think of horses when I think of Alpha Centauri for some reason.
The
And maybe
centaur.
the
Yeah.
centaur, I guess, must be it exactly. So I just kept seeing it, showing up. It also shows up when we look at the February 20th chart. So this is actually on August 15th, a little few days after the hoopla of the conjunction of Jupiter and Venus with Sirius A, actually. So anyway, long story short, let me get over here. So here's this in Uranus and Gemini is this opposite with Alpha Centauri that goes all the way through till February 20th. So I thought that was very interesting. And then I started noticing this trine over here with Alpha Centauri. And then down here with Neptune, we have another trine with Alpha Centauri. And then over here with Pluto, there's a sextile with Alpha Centauri. And I think that's about it for that. So those were the four that really stood out to me. And so I just thought I've got to look them up. I've got to learn a little bit more about them. So I'd like to share some of that with you because you may have it in your chart. And you want to check your chart to see, go on our calculator, put your information in, bring it up. And if you see any of these, especially if it says conjunct, then this is very meaningful for you to listen to even more so, but not just the conjunct. I really, the oppositions ultimately become like a conjunct. The
Yes.
trine, I mean, each one of these is important. I feel, and that's what I'm noticing. And that if I have just one conjunct somewhere or one opposite, like in this case, but if there's other ones hanging out, then I know there's a story there. There's an important story. That's when I work on a report, that's what I look for. I look for where are there other places that it's showing up with sextile squares, whatever. And then I can feel into that story. So let's talk a little bit about the story of Alpha Centauri, and it's the Centaurus constellation. And it's the people that settle there are known to be Lyran war refugees who, I mean, let's face it, there had to be a ton of them. They had to travel so far to get to Alpha Centauri because actually Alpha Centauri is our nearest neighbor. And by the way, it happens to carry the planetary nature of Jupiter and Venus. So if you combine the two, that is what Alpha Centauri's energy is like, which I thought was very interesting. Even though it's not in the Jupiter right now or in the Venus, but it is that style of energy. And if you, I think people may want to know this, but Ptolemy is also the name of Alpha Centauri. So it has two names, Ptolemy. Um, anyway, so it's the beings that come from here are predominantly Nordic beings. And even to the point of, like, again, Lyran Nordics, because of that war refugee energies. So if you have Northern European genetics, DNA, you may be connected to Lyra, the Pleiades, Aldebaran, and of course, Alpha Centauri, very likely. The Alpha Centaurian starseed soul is going to be very choosy about the family they incarnate into. They want to find the right genetic match because that makes their integration into a physical body more easy. Some of the things, the characteristics that I think that really stand out are they have a strong moral compass of what is for the highest good. They can be very independent thinkers and feelers. They help others handle their emotions, but may struggle with their own. So have a little harder time to handle it on their own. They can be slow to trust others, but are quite discerning. And they're considered very good at detecting manipulative people. So it's hard to put one over on an Alpha Centauran. They're not a joiner. They're not going to be out there joining this group and that group. They're going to be more particular and prefer smaller groups and are quite comfortable with being alone. So I feel like the resonance themes that might be here with Alpha Centauri that resonate with the Jupiter Venus planetary nature would be that of balance and harmony, of course, the merging of the material and spiritual realms together. So when we go through life, we are able to manifest pretty easily because we don't see them as separate. They are really great leaders, especially if you have your sun conjunct. Alpha Centauri leadership is at the high point there. Magnetism and compassion would be, again, the Jupiter-Venus influence. And so I think those of us that have this in our chart, you're going to have Scorpio somewhere. So there is a link to Scorpio with this Jupiter-Venus influence. Okay, so if you have Scorpio on your chart, you're going to find it there. Like for me, it's in my North Node, and I found it instantly that I have that conjunction with Alpha Centauri in my Scorpio North Node. They can be considered very often spiritual anchors and mediators and teachers, able to blend practical wisdom and spiritual insight, creating a longer impact for somebody, helping them. And of course, Scorpio always brings intensity, depth, resilience. And then also to the ability, they're good at building bridges, fostering harmony, transforming challenges into opportunity for growth and enlightenment. So again, if you have conjuncts, you would look in your chart and see where they are. And you're going to find how they connect. It's a conjunct because you could have an opposite, you could have a trine, and it would be a little bit variation of the energy.
Yeah, so when I've done readings with people who have Alpha Centaurian connections, past life connections, I've found that, so like I mentioned, I do divination too. So I use past life cards, and oftentimes I will get the community card, which makes total sense because they have this kind of brotherhood, sisterhood type of mentality, that family oriented kind of communal living. Actually, I think that's what the card is, communal living. That comes up often with Alpha Centaurus, as well as like medicine man, medicine woman, or some sort of like spiritual card, like they were a healer or something like that. In fact, I had my most recent client, she ended up having an incarnation onto Earth, to Atlantis, that carried over from her, what she learned from her lifetime in Alpha Centauri with her healing abilities and brought that into Atlantis. So that was really cool to get that. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in too. So kind of extra confirmation that I get with the cards and what people have found through, channelings. Also, Craig Campoboso, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Craig Campoboso, he did the extraterrestrial species almanac. He did some really cool research on the Quechua people of the Peruvian Andes, and they encountered these beings back in the 1950s, and they kind of referred to them as these protectors of the mountains. So how
Oh,
cool is that? So that
awesome.
that is in, yeah, if you want to look that up and do your own research on that. They refer to them as the Apunians, so they
Mhm,
protect the mountains there in the Andes. So
mhm.
another, you know, more physical manifestation of that has come
Yes.
through. So, and
Mhm.
they do seem very similar to like that Pleiadian type of energy for sure. Mm,
Yeah, I think so too. Very similar. I
yeah,
think a little bit more, I think the Pleiadian energy is more chatterboxy,
more
more,
extrovert. Yeah.
yeah, like a different, lighter. I think they're a little more serious than
Yeah, I
the.
think they'd be a bit more like they kind of like to keep to themselves, it feels like,
Hmm.
but they
Yeah,
do
and just,
have that love for each other. Yeah. So if
oh
you
yeah,
have, yeah, those alignments in your chart, you probably, yeah, have that kind of mentality as well. You kind of more introverted maybe, and maybe you even like to take care of, the land or have that passion for conserving the environment too. So
sure. Alpha Centauri is just an amazing star system. And I just feel I was guided to get a card for this. And I want to look at my galactic that I love so much. I've been kind of like I'm too going to the galactic heritage deck too much, I think. But this one just kept calling to me, and it's Beyond Lemuria, which is interesting because a lot of Lemurians could be Alpha Centaurian based as well. And of course, other ones as well. But I thought it was just interesting that this is the one that really stood out and called to me. And then, of course, I picked the card that where this little cute little female looking, um, I'll try to get this where everybody could see it.
hmm.
And she's like a little centaur. She's got the little ears of the centaur. I don't show her base, but it's all focused on the heart and how the home, our heart is our home, and our home is in our heart. And there's all these little floating eyeballs, which I thought was really interesting. Again, trying to, keep the eye on inside you. She's pointing inside, looking at your heart energy. And it says here, heart-based presence, grounding, finding home within yourself, wherever you are. The body as a temple for the soul, travel, finding family wherever you go, occupying yourself, connecting to your unwavering, infinite depths and collective oneness. So I just feel it's a sweet little card. And the gal says, well, what does home feel like to you? And to me, it is source, feeling the source energy, no matter where I go. That's the only way that I feel safe is if I'm tuned into that. I was talking to a young friend of ours last evening and telling him about that. Um, that no matter what, when you meditate, just meditate on source. You don't have to have anything else. There's no other thing that we really need. And that how source can come through people to us and through situations. So it's all about source. Source is home. And the home is in our heart.
that's very Jupiter and Venus in
I
Cancer
think so
too.
too.
Yeah,
Yes.
home is where the
Yeah,
heart is. Cancer, very
exactly.
much home.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I got that card. And I wish they had showed the base of her because I would think it would be a centaur. The way her
It
little
does. She
head and
looks
little
like she
ears.
would have like a
Yeah.
little, yeah, horse
Oh, yeah.
body too.
Yes, yes. And like I said, whenever I think of Alpha Centauri, I always think of horses. So I imagine it would be interesting to see how many people that are Alpha Centauri are horse lovers or have horses, own horses. That would be fascinating.
Yeah,
And
because
horses love me. I don't know what to say, but as a kid, I had I have many horse stories now that I think about it. I
aw,
never owned
yeah.
one. But if I got near a horse, and then I'm also able, I did a friend, I actually did a healing with her horse as well, which is kind of an animal
Aw.
communication type of style healing. Yeah, when I think back about it.
Actually near a lot of them too. Whenever I'm out
Oh,
walking, I always say hello to the horses when I'm out walking.
oh, cool. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to come over here and say hi to all the horses that I
Okay.
see. So changing
Mm,
up a little bit. So going to some more angelic energy with Virgo. We also got some lion energy. So we got all kinds of animals today.
mm, mhm.
Because Virgo, the new moon in Virgo, is making a conjunction to Regulus in the Leo
Oh, wow.
constellation. So we still got
Wow.
some lingering Leo energy happening still. We had that going on, last month, Leo season, and we're wrapping up Leo season now. So going into Virgo season, of course, with the new moon here. This new moon is the 23rd of August. It's 7:07 a.m. if you're in the UK, or 2 a.m. Eastern United States time. So this is at 0 degrees, new cycles, new beginnings, fresh new energy happening here. And that's totally what a new moon is all about. New chapters and fresh new energy to start things up, getting things going. Especially too, again, since we're clearing out from the Mercury retrograde energies, we'll be out of the post shadow. So I believe we'll be out of post shadow by then, or starting to come out by then. So it'll start to feel a little bit more easing into our goals and things that we want to get done. This is also the time for harvest. This corresponds to the goddess Demeter. It is,
Mm,
the end of August. We're approaching autumn, one of my favorite seasons, and this is the time now for harvest. So thinking about and reflecting, reaping what you sow. So what are the things that you have learned through this time, and what can you bring into the darker season that we're going to be entering, which I know is weird to think about now with it being still summer, but we're going there. It'll be here before we know it. So this is also making a square to Uranus and Gemini. Let me just pull up the chart. Yeah, so here it is. We have our new moon in Virgo here with this conjunction to Regulus in the heart of the lion. But we see this red line here. We have a square to Uranus in Gemini. So the midheaven is this black line here, but it's actually Uranus it's making a square to. We've talked a lot about Uranus and Gemini. So what this could mean is we need to be just a little careful with our emotions, try not to do anything too erratic. Our thoughts might be a little all over the place. We're trying to get organized. So just Virgo helps keep you grounded, right? That is the great thing with Virgo. It's an earth sign, so it'll help keep your emotions grounded here and things that you want to get done. So there is a kind of rebellious nature with Uranus, so be a little bit careful about that. Try not to dive into anything or be a little bit too much of a rebel, maybe. Could sometimes it's okay, a little bit, right? But you just want to be careful at this time, around the new moon with that type of energy. So there, we could see more of that too, just in mundane terms, like in the external world, with governments and things, which I will talk a bit about too with Regulus. So yes, keep both feet planted on the ground as best as you can with that energy, with that aspect happening there. Come up with a plan, set practical steps. Let Virgo help you make those steps, baby steps. Set
mhm.
those goals for yourself. Now, with that conjunction to Regulus, again, this is in the Leo constellation and it's considered the heart of the lion. This is one of the four beautiful royal stars. It's also sometimes considered an angelic star, which is associated with Archangel Raphael. So very much kind of, I think I get the image of like that winged lion. So you got the angel energy happening, but also the lion energy. So that kind of comes through paired with Virgo. Now, Regulus is a very regal, powerful star. People with this star may have those types of qualities about them. Even if you aren't, rich or a queen or king, you might have that kind of energy about you. So, what this means with this aspect here, with Uranus, we might see those shifts in power with leaders and maybe some rebellious things happening around us. I mean, there's so much happening in the world, so wouldn't be too surprised if some sort of thing like that happens maybe around the time of this new moon. So, or it could just be, small things of shifts in power with leaders, maybe even royal families and things like that. So, but that's pretty much what I wanted to share on the astrology of the new moon. I do have two tarot cards now that I'll share. Anything you want to add before I share my tarot message?
No, it sounds great. I have a Virgo moon, so
Yeah, that's right.
my it'll be my new moon, so it'll be great. Sounds good.
I think it'll kind of help keep our emotions more practical and grounded. So, and it's a nice, yeah, fresh new energy with starting our projects and getting things done, especially if there's been anything that was delayed in
Right.
retrograde, Mercury
Yes.
retrograde.
Yes.
My tarot message that I'm going to share, I'm using, by the way, my Dreaming Cat Tarot deck, one of my favorites. It's very cute. I have my first card. I got two cards. So the first one is the Hanged Man here, or I guess in this case, the Hanged Cat. So you have this cat, it's caught up here. We are caught up in something. We are delayed at this time. And again, this kind of goes back to what I just said. If things were delayed and you're kind of in this waiting period, we're going to start to untangle from this um, through after this new moon, I feel. So getting kind of untangled out of things, tying up loose ends. That's what I was trying to think. Tying up loose ends, that's coming through. And the Three of Wands is here as well. So we're waiting for our ships to come in, waiting for things to come at the right time. Again, set those goals, right? Take those baby steps, one step at a time. Gather the tools that you need, and you might have to wait for some of those things to come in with whatever you're doing, whether it's a project you're working on or work that you're doing. So yeah, this is a very nice energy with the Knight of Wands too on the bottom of the deck here, showing the overall energy. It's a fire energy here. Also very creative too, by the way. There's a creative energy. And that aligns very much with Leo too, that Leo constellation with the fire energy. So we are feeling inspired now, feeling inspired and motivated, ready to um, take on our goals and to move forward, get things going. So again, you might just have to tie up some loose ends and have a little bit of a waiting period for things to kind of settle in. Me personally, I'm waiting for a visa to come through, so that applies to me in that sense. So others of you might be, waiting for other things to come in and make happen. Some things are out of your control, right? So just do the best that you can. That's what I have to share. So that is, yeah, wrapping up for the end of August. So our next video will be covering September. So please stay tuned for that one.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channels. It really does help with the support so we can continue sharing this information for you all. Comment down below how you're feeling and if anything resonates. See you in the next one. Bye.